Right. INEC extend PVC collection by 60 days as Osho declares holiday for PVC collection. Osho Assembly confirms 6-month tenure elongation for local government chairman. IPMAN orders members not to sell fuel above 155 naira official price. Supreme Court of America empowers citizens to carry arms. Good evening, welcome to the Major Report. Babatunde Bolatito is my name. Governor Adegboyega Oyetola's competence and dexterity in the acts of governance, as exemplified in the last 3.5 years, have been identified as the reason why he should be re-elected in the forthcoming governorship election in the state. The Ijesha North Traditional Council made a remark during Governor Oyetola's campaign rally in Obukwano Federal Constituency for his re-election in the forthcoming July 16 governorship poll in the state. Governor's office correspondent Sonia Noridi now completes the story.
The campaign train for the re-election of Governor Adegboyega Oyetola in the forthcoming gubernatorial election also pulled up at Ijesha North Federal Constituency, comprising Obokun Local Government Area, Obokun East Local Council Development Area, Oriade Local Government Area, as well as Oriade Local Council Development Area in the state of Osun, while receiving royal blessings at the Palace of Alademure of Ibokun, as well as the Palace of Elegboro of Ijebu-Jesha. Governor Oyetola, who commended the royal fathers for their prayers with positive results, said that more developmental projects and welfare policies are in the pipeline if re-elected in the forthcoming gubernatorial election. In their separate remarks, Owamiran of Esauke, Oba Adeyemi Adediran, Alademure of Ibokun, Oba Festus Awogboro, Ajalaye of Ipetu Ijesha, Oba Adeleke Agunbiade, Elegboro of Ijebu-Ijesha, Oba Moses Oluwafemi Agunsoye, on behalf of other traditional rulers and chiefs in the area, paid glowing tributes for the outstanding performance recorded, describing him as competent, pragmatic, a leader par excellence with humane heart, affirming that there's a need for good work to continue under the leadership of Governor Adegboyega Oyetola across the state, addressing the teeming crowd of party supporters at Ibokun roundabout as well as at Ijebu-Jesha market. Governor Oyetola noted that a vote for Oyetola in the forthcoming gubernatorial election represents a quantum leap towards the actualization of Yoruba presidency personified by Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the benefit of all across the state of Osun, adding that he is poised to surpass what is currently unfolding in terms of meeting the yearnings and aspirations of the people across the state.
We recognize the fact that we've been in existence, only has been in existence for a while, but things are changing. I believe with the turnout and the performance during the primary, I believe it's not the same thing. We are making serious inroads between we are going to win, but I'm confident about that. Based on the performance of the government and the performance of the party, we are winning.
The state chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Prince Gboyega Famodo, the Director General of Oyetola's Campaign Council, Senator Ajibola Bashir, as well as the leadership of the All Progressive Congress in Ijesha North Federal Constituency, including Otumba Jumoke Ogunkeyede, Alhaji Nasir Komonlafe, Honorable Natalia Agunbiade, Honorable Bosun Oyintiloye, among other speakers who were pretty much eloquent in reeling out the laudable achievements recorded in all ramifications across the state, enjoined the residents to reciprocate the good gesture in the forthcoming gubernatorial election in sustaining the good governance. Dignitaries on the campaign train with Governor Adegboyega Oyetola, including the wife of the governor, Mrs. Kafayat Oyetola, the deputy governor, Mr. Benedict Alabi, Mrs. Oyefunke Alabi, former deputy governor, Mrs. Grace Titilayo Ponle, Chief of Staff to the Governor, Dr. Charles Akinola, members of the State Executive Council, members of the State House of Assembly, the leadership and members of the All Progressive Congress from across the state. From the Governor's Office, Saya Onoide reporting.
While the Independent National Electoral Commission has reassured people of its commitment towards eliminating all physical barriers that will hinder voters from participating in the forthcoming election in Osun State, Resident Electoral Commissioner in the state, Professor Abdul Ghani Raji, made this known during the education and sensitization for visually impaired voters in the state. OSBC News reporter Omatayo Adebodo has the details.
Of the 2022 gubernatorial election in Osun State, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has assured of effective and seamless participation of visually impaired voters in the election and other activities. The Independent National Electoral Commission has trained visually impaired voters on the use of Braille's ballot guard for them to be able to exercise their democratic power independently in the July 16 election in the state. Speaking at the event, the Osun Resident Electoral Commissioner, Professor Abdul Ghani Raji, assured visually impaired and other registered voters living with disabilities in Osun unhindered participation in the forthcoming gubernatorial election. Professor Raji further assured that magnifying glasses for persons with low vision and albinism were provided. Voters' information in Braille's for persons with visual impairments was equally produced.
We want an inclusive process, an inclusive election. Every vulnerable group will be carried along. The people will be one of those vulnerable groups. So we have created a special department for them, and also gender. And so we are getting the support of our partner, International Federation of Electoral System, IFS. And IFS is actually the brain behind the full support and the funding for the trainings that we have been doing for the people with disability.
In her remarks, the Acting Director, Gender and Inclusion Department, INEC, Mrs. Dorothy Bello, stated that electoral process must be inclusive to accommodate all persons with one disability or the other, which are critical members of the society.
Activities carried out is improvement on what was initially done, especially in terms of sensitization, capacity building. You know, I've just sensitized them together, but now we have we take each disability and reach out to them to enable them get sensitized in a format that they can understand.
INEC has assured that our officers have been trained to give preference to vulnerable groups, including the pregnant women and people living with disabilities. Omotayo Adebodo, OSBC News.
Indications have emerged that the Independent National Electoral Commission has brought to pressure and considered the request for extension of the ongoing continual voter registration exercise. Chairman, House of Representatives Committee on Electoral Matters, Aisha Duku, disclosed this while briefing journalists on the outcome of a meeting between the committee and the electoral body. Duku said following the resolution of the House requesting the extension of the CVR by 60 days, the committee met with INEC to brainstorm on the challenges encountered by Nigerians seeking to register and vote in the next year's poll. She said after the meeting, the electoral body promised to look at the resolution and come up with a position. The lawmaker, however, said the extension, according to INEC, might not last up to 60 days. Meanwhile, Osun State Government has declared Friday, June 24, as a work-free day to enable civil servants who are yet to collect their permanent voter cards to do so ahead of the July 16 gubernatorial election in the state. In a statement signed by the Secretary to the State Government, Prince Wale Oyebamiji, Osun State Government added on the importance of the PVC to the performance of their civic responsibility. The statement indicated the acknowledgement by the State Government on the importance of workers in democratic process, and is also aware that the only way workers can give life to their aspiration of a worker-friendly government is through their votes. Osun State House of Assembly has confirmed 6-month tenure elongation of local government chairmen and councillors across the state, just as the House asked commissioner nominees of Governor Adeboyega Oyetola to submit their credentials for screening, while constituting the 7-man screening committee headed by the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Femi Popola. The Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Honorable Timothy Uweye, commended Governor Adeboyega Oyetola for listing ban on promotion and conversion for civil servants in the state. Parliamentary reporter Oluwatosi Oladokun now completes the story.
The conduct of primary election for the state legislature or State House of Assembly members to resume work. Welcoming the lawmakers to the Alo Chamber is the Speaker of the State Parliament, Honorable Timothy Uweye, who in the course of the plenary lauded the tenacity of his colleagues. Thereafter, the Speaker read the 2 letters sent to the House by Governor Adeboyega Oyetola. The first sought the need for the Secretary Arm of Government to consider the 6-month tenure elongation of local government chairmen and councillors across the state.
Bring the processed tiers of government to people. Definitely, a reasonable government should avoid vacuum at local government level, especially when the entire nation is facing security challenges. One way or the other, yes, we have not gotten any reports indicting those directing the affairs of local government.
Another letter communicated to the honorable members was the screening of commissioners and special advisor nominees. While speaking on the extension of the chairman and councillors, Chairman, House Committee on Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Honorable Festus Babatunde Komolafe, Majority Leader of the House, Honorable Maruf Olarewaju, just asked Honorable Nasiru Olateju heard that so long there were no petition against the present local government areas heads, House of Assembly should go ahead for their confirmation for another 6 months. The House therefore confirmed them for another 6 months. In his remarks, the Speaker of the House, Honorable Timothy Uweye, applauded Governor Adeboyega Oyetola administration for lifting ban on promotion and conversion of the state workforce, a feat which he said has written Governor Adeboyega Oyetola's name in gold. The Speaker, in the same spirit, constituted a 7-man screening committee for the affected commissioners and special advisor nominees to be headed by the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Femi Popola. Oluwatosin Oladokun, OSBC News.
As a follow-up to the actualization of the upgrade of the State College of Education in Lisha to a full-fledged university, Governor Adeboyega Oyetola set up an 11-man implementation committee. The committee, headed by a foremost educationist, Professor Oluwarena, is expected to, among other things, develop academic brief and physical master plan for the new university. In a statement signed by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Ismail Omekbido, the Governor noted that the committee will be formally inaugurated very soon and will engage the State House of Assembly towards the enactment for the law establishing the new university and the National University Commission to facilitate speedy approval and formulate the internal character of the internal charter of the proposed university to accommodate the participation and key stakeholders, especially the Jesha community, corporate entities in the governance of the institution via special purpose vehicle, among others. Members of the committee, according to the statement, also include a former health minister, Professor Isaac Adewale, a former vice chancellor of Osun State University, Professor Labo Popola, among others. Nigerians have harped on the need for the federal government to ensure that whoever is saddled with the responsibility of serving as the Chief Justice of Nigeria is competent enough to handle administrative issues that will aid quick dispensation of justice. This was the view of some legal practitioners who spoke with OSBC News against the backdrop of letter written by 14 justices of the Supreme Court of Nigeria to the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Tanko Mohammed. OSBC reporter Oluchi Amuda now completes the story.
The highest decision-making judicial organ in the country, as far as justice dispensation is concerned, recently the most revered apex court was in the news for the wrong reason 14 justices of the Apex Court wrote a protest letter to the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Mohammed Tanko, where they lamented about the unpleasant condition of the court. It was the first of its kind protest letter in the 58-year history of the court. The 14 justices chronicled the operational challenges that have almost crippled the efficient adjudication of cases at the Supreme Court. The aggrieved justices complained of epileptic power supply, lack of official vehicles, lack of internet services, among others. Although the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Alhaji Tanko Mohammed, had reacted to the letter, saying that judges are to be seen and not heard, but some legal practitioners in Nigeria have urged the CJN to address the issues raised by the judges. Mr. Olufemi Anyodokun and Mr. David Agbola said the CJN should do everything possible to protect the image of the judiciary.
Many say that necessity is the mother of invention. Even in the trade of law, where there are what we call lacuna or gaps in what the law provides to meet certain situations, you have what is called the doctrine of necessity. It has now become necessary for the Supreme Court justices to speak out via the means they did. It's not impossible. They had stomached these things we're talking about for so long. Just recently, the budget of the judiciary was increased by the national. So the question you want to ask yourself is, where are these monies that have not been deployed towards the purposes for which they are meant?
I want to believe that it's just it's an in-house problem that can be resolved, of which I believe is being resolved, if not almost resolved, amidst themselves. We all understand the condition of the country right now, the economic downturn and some other issues that have been plaguing not just the judicial system, the legislative arm and the executive arm. So I want to believe it's an issue that will be sorted out amidst themselves.
Analysts have expressed strong belief that if the issues are not tackled headlong and urgently, it could affect the quick dispensation of justice and have a ripple effect on the judiciary. Oluchi Amuda, OSBC News.
The owner states of Odua's investment company have expressed satisfaction over the trajectory performance of the company in the last few years. Ondo State Governor Arakunle Rotimi Akeredolu spoke on behalf of others at the 2022 annual general meeting of the group in Lagos, commended the management for understanding fundamental changes as directed by the owner state. Our reporter, Oluwatobiloba Odunuga, now reports.
That was the opening anthem of the 2022 annual general meeting of Odua Investment Company Limited, held at Osun Hall of Lagos Airport, Ikeja. Dignitaries including the Governor of Ondo State, Arakunle Rotimi Akeredolu, Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun, Governor of Ekiti State, Kayode Fayemi, represented by his deputy, Otumba Bisi Egbeyemi, and other representatives of Ondo, Oyo, and Lagos State, and other executive shareholders of the company. In their separate remarks over 2021 financial year results and accounts at the annual general meeting, the 5 governors of southwestern states reiterated their support for Odua Investment Company Limited. Speaking on the occasion, Chairman of the Southwest Governors Forum and Governor of Ondo State, Arakunle Rotimi Akeredolu, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, commended the management for posting an impressive 2021 performance and dividend payout to shareholders.
All the states owners of Odua are pleased that in the last few years we have been able to stabilize this company.
Also in his remarks, Governor Dapo Abiodun noted that the state is deeply committed to the cause of which Odua Investment Company was created to achieve. The same view was expressed by other governors in attendance who reiterated their support for continued growth and development of Odua Investment Company. Meanwhile, consequent upon the expiration of the tenure of Dr. Segun Aina from Osun State as chairman, the board of shareholders approved Bimbo Ashiru from Ogun State as the new chairman of the group. This is in line with the established principle of rotation of chairmanship among shareholder states. State every 4 years as enshrined in the shareholders agreement. Earlier in his address, the outgone chairman of Odua Investment Company Limited, Dr. Segun Aina, appreciated the shareholders for the privilege and rare honor given him to pilot the affairs of the company. He urged fellow directors and management to remain focused on the delivery of the company's 5-year sweat, revive and create SRC 2025 Strategic Trust.
I'm happy that Odua Investment, under my leadership as chairman and that representing Osun State, have been able to move the company forward in the last 2 years in terms of growth, in terms of relevance, and in terms of impact.
Also in his remarks, the new chairman of the group, Bimbo Ashiru, assured shareholders that the board had put in various best practice governance policies in the year under review that will ensure the company's investment creates sustainable impact in the ensuing years. Commenting on the outcome of the annual general meeting, the group managing director, Adewale Raji, expressed delight on the performance of the company in the outgone year, noting that the Odua Investment Company Limited was established to positively influence the next generation of youth with focus on health, education and youth empowerment. Oluwa Tobiloba Odu Nuga reporting for OSBC News.
Beneficiaries of the Conditional Cash Transfer Scheme program have commended President Muhammadu Buhari and Governor Adegoye Oyetola for their joint efforts in eradicating poverty and alleviating Osun State families from financial struggles. The scheme, which was launched last year, November, has 15,563 beneficiaries and commenced a monthly payment of 5,000 naira per household. Our reporter, Ayobami Akomolafe, now completes the story.
With joy and excitement, the beneficiaries of the Conditional Cash Transfer Scheme by the federal government in conjunction with the Osun State government in Ede North and Ede South local government areas danced to the fullest in appreciation for taking part in the scheme and among the beneficiaries to receive the scheme's withdrawal card. Speaking at the program, the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Social Intervention Programs, Mr. Lukman Abimbola, appreciated the effort of the federal and state government in ensuring the uplift of the citizenry. The SSAO noted that 15,563 vulnerables had benefited in the program, reiterated the need for the beneficiaries to take the opportunity as a great privilege of empowering and engaging themselves with what will bring more income for them.
The fear they had before was that by the end of this month, we are going to stop the program. But we have been telling them, henceforth, we are still going to continue as beneficiaries under this program. I want to thank President Muhammadu Buhari, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and of course, we must specially recognize and thank our own governor, Alhaji Saka Adegoye Oyetola.
In awards of admonition, and APC stalwart, Alhaja Latifat Giwa, commended the federal government and the Osun State government under the leadership of Governor Adegoye Oyetola for extending their support to the vulnerables. She then encouraged the beneficiaries of the Cash Transfer Scheme program to use the stipends wisely and also invest in something that will give back to the community and the general public at large.
I want to appreciate Mr. Governor Alhaji Oyetola for being magnanimous to ensure that this scheme does not stop. As soon as the money comes in, he assists, he gives all what is necessary so that they can go to the local government. And that has been helping for the distribution to be continuous.
Some of the beneficiaries of the cash transfer scheme, including Mrs. Ramota Akomu and Mrs. Sariu Rufai, among others, took turns to appreciate the government for empowering and lifting them from poverty. The program climaxed with the distribution of cash transfer scheme withdrawal cards to the beneficiaries. Ayobami Akomolafe reporting for OSBC News.
Now our sports segment. The federal government has rescinded its decision to suspend Nigeria's basketball team from all international competition and from the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled that Americans have fundamental right to carry arms in public in landmark decision that came just weeks after another deadly school shooting. Details of this will come your way in our subsequent bulletin. That ends the major report on OSBC TV. It was edited by Kayode Adebayo Babatunde Bolaji. It is my name. Good night.